So good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Monday evening, Monday night connection, consciousness, and obviously awakening more of who we are, because sometimes, who you are is always in a development. It's always in progress, right? Many people think this is it and that's how it's going to stay. No, we always progress. From a teenager to now, you probably don't think the same way. You don't behave the same way from there's always evolution, right? There's always, you growing, you evolving, you're not stationary. The same thing, this world have that mechanism that allow you to grow to unlimited extent, right? And it's developed the way you are developed. And it grows, or the opportunity grows, the way you grow, the way you develop. So this way, nobody needs to be a victim here, or to say, I don't have an opportunity or so. Everybody gets exactly the same opportunity, exactly the same mechanism, exactly the same vessel to use, to work with, right? It's the question is, what do they do with that? Now, this week, we want to awaken what we call the energy, the consciousness that is available for us to awaken this week. So the reading that we're gonna use is the reading of this week. It speaks about the head of the tribes. Interesting enough, Moses, taking says, Moses spoke directly to the head of the tribes. Usually, we learn that sometimes the messenger is something else or someone else. In this case, a direct connection to Moses into the head of the tribe, the leaders of all the nation. What does it mean? Why did he talk to them? What did he talk to them about? Let's understand the whole interaction is interaction between our higher self to our lower self. The whole interaction is an internal interaction. This story, so-called, this picture that we're putting out there, it's just what do we call an external vessel where we can, like when you watch a movie, when you read a book, right? You have the ability to draw different lessons and different connections from that. The same thing, we cannot take it literally, all these stories and all those names, call it Moses, call it, doesn't matter the names, but each name represents something else. Each situation awaken and have the ability to awaken other parts of who we are. What are we gaining this week? When it says Rashei Hamatot, the head of the tribes, Moses spoke to the head of the tribes. It's our higher self. Moses represents not an individual, but our higher self. It speaks to them and insert within them the ability, the power to change and to divert our life to a much higher growing place. To divert, to shift our luck, to shift our energy, our relationships, our businesses, right? Our mental, our emotional capacity. So this is what we're talking here is, first of all, in the head. Rashei Hamatot, the head of the tribes. But the tribe, it says mateh. Mateh, it's a word for staff that represent leadership, guidance. So what we want to receive is a true guide. Many people are depending on others. Many people says, oh, whatever my teacher says, whatever my guru says, whatever my accountant says, whatever. Yes, we can live life like that. But before you didn't do your own decisions. You haven't done your own research. You haven't done many work prior to go and says, what should I do? And then take it this way. You're not growing. You come back again and you would have to ask your teacher, guru, doctor, another approval. Until you come to the level that you understand it's nothing to do with them. It's good to ask for help. I need the head of the tribe. I need a connection to the leader, but not because I cannot make a decision, right? Why? Because I meant to be learned and receive that ability to lead my life the same way that leader lead that group or this world. Let's understand a little bit beautiful depth into that. We learn how many times you hear people telling you it's all in your head. I'm sure you heard it. I'm sure you heard that someone says to you, just change it in your head. It's going to change out, right? Many people, I can't get rid of it in my head. It's in my head. I can't get it out, right? All kind of conversations like that. What does it mean? Yes, in order to divert, in order to shift, to take it to a different direction, you need to understand it's all going to happen in your head. First, it has to happen in your head, in your mind. Then, how it's going to be influenced in this world. But if you don't see it in your head, if you don't change those belief systems in your head, if you don't change those limitations in your head, first, to divert, lehatot, the word lehatot, to divert, to shift, to direct your energy, your life. It's in your hand, and it's been given to you in your head. Elu Rashi Amatot, Moses telling us, your higher self telling you. That's the message. First of all, don't look outside. You have to understand that's your power. If we understand that, how do we get there? Let's go a few details. And again, some of us, take the time to understand that. Some of us will get it. This is how the reading continues. And it's important to connect to the reading. I know sometimes the reading might sound like a little bit religious or a little bit, nonsense sometimes, right? But it's all secret, it's all code. Don't ever take it literally. So he says, Moses spoke to the head of the tribe. Now we understand there is no Moses talking to them because we are not living in the desert 3,500 years ago. Right? We are right here, right now. How do I activate myself? How do I connect to my leadership, my power to shift my energy? I don't like what's going on in life, shift it. I don't like how it looked like, shift it, and so forth. After that, he says, okay, how do I get there? And he says this way, Ish ki idor neder. Now he speaks about the word ish. There is the word ish. Ish is a person, right? A person, and then he speaks about ish, and then he says, Ish ki idor neder, a person that will vow a vow, right? And then he says a woman, but he doesn't want to use the idea of woman, is Isha. So Ish represent a man, Isha represent a woman. He says if and Isha kiti dornet, and a woman, again, before we jumping into man, woman, to understand what we're talking about, very, very important. It's a very fundamental teaching. What are the consequences of a person or a woman, or a ish or isha? Ish is a man or a woman. What are the consequences, he says, if you vow a vow, right? What does it mean? First of all, to understand it's all energy. Everything is just energy. Because there are two conditions to our vessels, right? Our vessel has to work with two different operation systems. We spoke about it a little bit before, but today is going to a deeper, little bit different place. It's a different understanding, so open your mind for that, right? So there are two situations, two conditions, two phases of our vessels, two aspects of how our vessel can operate. How can we draw blessings, protections, sustenance without side effects? Our vessel has to come to a place of harmony. Harmony. Not to be antsy, not to be needy, not to be, I have to. Why? Most of us, like sometimes, yeah, we can, because we're careless. I don't care if it happen or not happen, right? So it seems like I can be relaxed until push come to shove, until they're very hungry, until the money running out, until the saving is, until the market is 50% down. So now, oh, wow, what am I going to do? Now you care. Oh, now we are. Everyone will reach that place that you're going to be tested, whether if you're going to operate in harmony or in neediness, in stressfulness, in anger, and so forth. Our vessel have two functionalities that we need to learn: Ish and Isha, male and female. And I know in our time, and the reason I brought it up, because obviously it's the whole portion speaks about it. But we know we're speaking about a lot today about the idea of the gender, right? People like have difficulty because they want to change that idea to be inclusive of everyone. I get it. The world needs to go there. What we're talking about here, these are energies. It's not any physical appearance. For those of you taking men and women in a physical appearance, you miss the point completely. If you're looking at the man and you think it's a man, if you're looking at the woman and you think it's a woman, you miss the point, right? Or you're looking at someone this way or someone that way, you miss the point. We each one of us is a combination of both, male and female. It's not a woman and a man. I hope this has to go very, very clear and deep. Each one of us, it's not that you all of a sudden behave like a woman if you're a man, or if you're a man, or if you're a woman, you behave like a man. That's not the that we're talking about. It's operation system. It's like an algorithm that we spoke before. It's like it's a communication system. If you learn to communicate this way, you will have a much better, easier, I don't like the word easy, but much smoother, much harmonious clarity about who you are and why this way and why that way. Let's understand what it means for us this week. From one hand, we have the Ish, the male. What is the male? The Ish, the point of us, the point of our vessel that needs to be operating in an endless way. Needs to operate it, right? With a tremendous desire, with endless love, with endless giving, endless influence, endless revelation, tremendous revelations. One operation, most of us sometimes have a tremendous surge of love, and then it stops. We can't operate in an endless way, which we do, and we do have that ability. And we came here to activate the Ish, that part of our vessel that is an endless, that is limitless. It has to be part of your operation system every single day. not occasionally. That state that I'm talking about right now, that's the origin of who we are. We never meant to be here a finite people, or death, destruction, chaos. That wasn't the purpose. That wasn't the purpose. The purpose was completely different. Part of that, it's the option when we're not doing the work, when we're not living in an elevated state like that. Elevated state doesn't mean I'm removed from people. The other way, as many as people, as endless as people, as endless of love and endless of happiness. Again, it's not just the concept that we're talking about. It's an actuality that is inserted within each one of us that actually, what does he say? Ish ki idor neder. Now you understand, Ish is not a man who vow and tell God, oh, I'm going to be good. No. We're not talking about that. It's not a conversation. It's a very small conversation to think this way. Our unlimited capacity, our soul made a vow. What is the vow? Right? The vow is that I will come down to this world and start giving and sharing and influence unlimited. I'm going to do good on the ability, on that chip that was installed within us in an unlimited way of influence. It has to start there in your head. Remember that. This is all in your head. If you don't see yourself endlessly, how does it look like? Because today I have 8-hour work. I have to do groceries. I have to clean. I have to do laundry. When I'm going to do all of this, you tell me, Benjamin. And I'm running a business, and it's nothing to do with what physically you do. It's your operation. It's where you come from, right? So one can do the laundry and reveal light way more than someone didn't, right? Reveal greatness. So it's really not about the thing that you do. Yeah, but Benjamin, I'm working for, what am I doing? I'm just cleaning the streets. I'm just working in the garbage. What am I influencing? Oh, tremendous. It doesn't mean what you do. I'm just a secretary. I'm not a big boss. I'm not celebrity. How can I influence? This is the silly mind. This is the limited mind. This is the Isha. This is the small part of our vessel talking, convincing us that we cannot be unlimited, that we don't have enough love to give. Let's break it down a little bit more. This is a beautiful, one of the beautiful lessons I really love. So now, how is from the other way around, how is our vessel, the Isha, the other part, the female aspect of our vessel? Again, please, I want to remind you again, don't fall into that victimness. Oh, he said a woman and a man is different. No. Every woman and every man is exactly the same. Has to be exactly this way. From the other way, our what we call operation system of woman, each one of us, right, is now the vessel part, right, have free will. In Ish, in the what we call the unlimited, there's not even free will. How can you have free will when you have endless to give? Give it, there's no end. Absolute influence, endless. There's no free will, it's absolute. I have no question about it. I don't even need to choose, it's right there. The other part of us start choosing, calculating. There's part of us who is what we call Isha, the vessel part of us. There's a male and there's a female. There's a plus and there's a minus. Everybody know, in order to turn on the light, you need plus and you need minus. We spoke about it. The minus, is it bad? They call it negative, but it's not bad, Because without the minus, the plus cannot operate, right? So it's not bad, absolutely not bad. You call it negative. You call it a minus, maybe less. It sounds less. Absolutely not. Without that, there's nothing can happen. This absolutely has to be an exactness. This the same way our vessel. One will say, oh, I'm unlimited, I'm this, I'm that, but have no ability to transform the other part of their vessel. All of that just stay in the air. Dreamers, you can call them. So from the other hand, I need to see another operation of my vessel. Calculation, I want to choose it, free will, right? Emptiness, result, chasing after results, chasing after illusionary chasing, right? Constant lack, constant feeling of lack, constant, right? That operation system work and only receive for myself. That's it. Anytime I want to receive to myself, I'm operating on that vessel. We have to remember, there is laws. There are laws. There are exact laws, universal laws that operates no matter who you are, woman, man, whatever, you have a gender, you don't have a gender, whatever you want, the gravity works on you. Doesn't matter. The universal laws operates on you no matter what you're going to call yourself or pretending you are or not. If you don't know that you are consistent of these two operation systems, and both of them need to be in harmonious interaction, you miss the point. You can go and scream and yell at anybody who didn't give you a blame, whatever. Once you don't know how to operate, there's no one to turn to. Eventually, you're always going to be empty. So now, there is what we call the light within us, the surge of energy within us. We call it the Isha. And there is the vessel, the ability to receive all that fulfillment. It's called Isha, female, male and female, plus and minus. Now, let's understand the vow that the soul took, right? We says, Ish ki idor. Idor, it's a vow, right? But if you learn a little bit deeper the study of Kabbalah, you learn that the word idor, which is someone who gave or did a vow, right? Vows, right? What does it mean? Idor is not just a vow, but another code name, or we call it to a dayar. Dayar is a resident, right? For example, you have a tenant. Some of you have a house, right? Some of you have a house, and you have a tenant. Is the tenant can do whatever he wants in the apartment? To an extent. He cannot just break walls and change the everything. I want to change the kitchen to be here and all of that. Of course, if you agree to it, that's something else. But tenant cannot come and, right, just a rental, right? But if it's his house, instead of being a rental, right? He made it like his own dira, his own residency. So that tenant is on the house, the place, right? So now there's a different, if that tenant wants to make changes to the house, probably he can. If that tenant wants the house to be open for everybody, that he can, right? But if I'm just renting a house and says, oh, I'm renting this apartment, everybody can go and do whatever they want. Sometime the owner of their house says, no, I rented to you You can't just, everyone who wants to stay here, right? In New York, of course, it's much harder. But we know what is the vow that he speaks about here that our soul took. The vow is not, I promise. The vow is residency. That you got that ticket, you got that card, you got the contract. Before you coming down to this world, they give you the contract. The only thing you need to do is sign on the contract and come down to this world, to this reality, physical reality. But remember that you are a resident, right? Of who? Of the Creator of this whole world. I'm not a visitor here. I'm a tenant. I have residency. One need to claim his residency. What does it mean? Let's say for those of you who have the right to claim for to be a American resident. Some people say, I don't want to be American. I'm an anarchist. I don't want to be American. I don't want to be any citizen of anybody. Okay, good. One can say yes. If you're giving me the option, yeah, I want to be a resident. Great. This is what we want to awaken this week. To do good, meaning to go back to that contract. You've been given the house, is in the contract, is under your name. You've been given the residency in this world to do what? To be a dayar, to be a tenant of the Creator in this world. What does it mean? I meant to be used as an endless vessel, as an endless channel, as an endless influencer, as an endless beam of love. That's how I do good on the residency. You know, when I went to do the being American, whatever, in the court, right? So they give you a few things, and you have to accept the Constitution and so many things that they tell you, and you have to sign here, and you have to sign there, and you have to go through an interview and know 100 questions. And I'm sure if you did it, you know that. If not, you're going through a procedure. That procedure, our soul already went to. Now, every time a person will decide, and better for us this week, to decide to activate our residency. I want to be a resident, meaning a tenant of the Creator in this world, of this endless light in this world. And you know what? As soon as you start activating that, it starts growing. It starts growing. You start seeing that you can do unlimited. You start seeing that you can do way more than what you've done yesterday. You start seeing that you can handle way more pressure. You can handle way more products, way more people to the party. You can handle more. That's something we need to open our mind to that. First of all, it's in our mind. In order to divert, in order to shift, it has to be shifted here in the mind first. So now, this world is the building of the Creator. And you, each one of us, receive an apartment in that building. Free. You vow a vow. What is the vow? That you're going to come to this world and you're going to live in the building of the Creator. But in order to live in that building, you need to be able to be used as an endless influencer to this world. Once you do that, you get residency. Once you're not, go find yourself a rental or a hostel or a tent or somewhere there in the street to live. Meaning, feeling disconnect, feeling victims. This is the translation of how it sounds in this world. But now, only a true tenant, a true resident, can divert, can shift their life, can have the ability to completely divert anything into the light or greatness of the direction, their life, friend's life, and so forth. Only a tenant that wants to reveal the light of the endless in this physical world, an endless revelation. This is what we want to open on the Isha that is inserted inside of us. This is what we want to open to the vow that our soul took. What is the vow? I will come and I will be a tenant of the Creator. What is a tenant? That world is like a huge building, and in order to get an apartment there, you already have the apartment. It's written on your name, but it's vacant because why? You connected to the Isha, you connected to the vessel point of me, meaning the needy point of me, the female point of me, right? The lack point of me. We didn't get it. Now, in order for me to be a resident, I need both in harmony. And let me explain to you how it works. The vessel, what we call we spoke about the male, now we spoke about the female. What is the female vow? Again, please remember, it's not female, it's feminine or whatever you want to call it, but it's not a woman. Okay? That vow was that I will work on myself to be used as a vessel for an endless revelation. Meaning, so I would work on my vessel that will stay pure, clean from pride, empty pride, small little respects and a small little honor. I want to be clean from that desire for a little honor, for a little approval, for a little hatred, right? How long can you hate? You hate somebody small, it's really small. From a little ego. That's the vow that side of us took. To be clean, to be pure. What is pure? A channel, pure, right? Pure. I vowed, my soul vow, that part of my soul, there's two parts, I said. One is to draw and to be and to think, unlimited, to give, to be that male. And in one hand, that female, what we're talking about, is that I would protect myself from quote unquote forbidden thing. What does it mean? Things that are not good for me, things that are not serving me or my body, right? Something that is not good for me, I'm not going to go there. I vow, meaning I decide that this is what I'm going to use my vessel to an endless capacity. But in order for that, I need to empty that vessel from all the nonsense. So you have to work in both ends, not just like, oh, unlimited, big, yes, let's do it. Okay, now let's work on what stuff, what limit my vessel. What type of impure thinking? What type of small thinking? Right? What type of food am I eating? How do I sleep? Who do I talk to? What type of environment I'm inserting? Imagine you want to be an unlimited person, but you inserted in an environment of people who are thinking small. And you come and says, no, let's think big. In 2 seconds, they will cancel you. So it's also important to change my environment if I want to start operating unlimited. Then he says, in order to protect yourself, he says, Lo yachel dvaro. So how do I combine these two? How do I combine these two together? How do I bring it to a harmony? Very simple. He says, don't ever start talking, saying, conversation, lecture, teaching, whatever it is, right? Don't start before you ask question, right? Lo yachel dvaro. Don't start before you're thinking about what you're about to say. To wait. But I need to say, to wait before I'm jumping and saying and answering. To delay the need to tell them how much I know. Delay that. And in everything that you're about to say, it has to be in the background one question. Whatever I'm about to say right now, whatever I'm about to talk right now, or whatever I'm about to answer right now, from what place it came? From the Ish or from the Isha? Is it came from the male aspect of me or the female aspect of me? You're going to learn how to use this idea again, not behave like a woman and behave like a man. That has to be removed, my friend. This is the problem that we have. The whole argument with gender is because we don't understand that part of us. It doesn't make any. It's human, right? So now, before I'm saying something, before I'm talking, I need to ask myself, wait a second, what I'm about to say, what I'm about to do, which it came from? The Ish or the Isha, the male or the female? What does it mean? How do I know? Meaning, if what I'm about to say and answer, is it just going to help me? Or is it going to help so many more people? What am I about to do right now? Is it just going to make me great or make many people great? Very important. This is the simple part of differentiating in the head. You remember we talk only in the head. Some people say, well, what should I do? No, this conversation is Rashi Amatot, the head is the diversion, is where you divert everything. So if you have the right questions here, everything will come right. If you have the right separation here, then outside it will look exactly what we need to learn. Then the verse continues and says, Kechol asher yetze mipiv yaseh. Now this section says, if you connected to the male and you also protecting your female energy, which means working on it, build an endless vessel, asking the right question before talking, before the talk, right? It's very important. This is this time of the year. The word, it's a very important. The mouth needs to be very much kept. And he says, everything that I will say, I will do. This is part of the promise. What is the idea? In one hand, how many times we saying something and it doesn't really happen? How many times we saying things and they're not really even closely, remotely happening? We saying to someone something to do and they do something completely different. Many times, many times. Why? Because we lost the power of our word. Why? Because the vow that we took, we don't really do good on. We're losing the power. So now each one of us this week, check everything that I'm saying, am I doing? This is the question that we need to ask. Am I doing what I'm about to say? Am I really doing what I'm about to share with that individual? When I'm suggesting someone to someone or about something, am I willing to do that? If not, don't say it. Kol asher yetze mipiv, everything that comes out of your mouth, you need to be first able and willing to do that, or you already have done it. Everything that I'm about to say, this is how you start building that vessel, what we call that female. Second thing is, Am I standing behind everything I just said? Because most of us saying empty slogans, empty things. And am I standing behind that fact that I'm about to say or that I said? Right? In one hand, am I doing what I said I suggesting people to do? The second thing is what I'm saying about a certain thing, about myself or about a certain teaching. Am I standing behind my word? So, and also, if you say you're going to do something, that's the third thing, right? If you say you're going to do something, don't ever, again, I don't like to say it, but I actually just say it, just for you to be protected. Better not to say, even if people will hate you, because you didn't meant to do it. If you say something, think first. Lo yachel dvaro. Don't start talking before you really thinking, am I going to do that? And if not, don't say it. This is all working against us, all this energy. So what does it mean? We want to come to a level that everything that we'll say, not that we will do, I said, will get done. This is the ultimate state of the combination of the male and the female, that everything that you just say will happen. That's the ultimate goal. So first, again, I don't want to go into repetition here, but I said the 3 steps that you can work on, right? And many different things. I hope everybody will listen to the recording again, just to finalize that. Again, in order for me to achieve the place that everything that I'm saying will get done, right? I need that combination of these 2 energy forces within me. The male and the female has to be in harmony, right? And the way I'm working on them is obviously, we learn in different things, but again, our words, that's what we said, the vow. That's what get us to be resident back again. That's what give us back the residency in this world. Anyway, that is obviously because we're going to be transformed ourselves to become the tenant of the Creator in this world. We have a tremendous responsibility. So just on a side, my friend, I know some of you don't know, but we're entering to a period of time of 3 weeks. From Saturday night, 3 weeks. These 3 weeks known to be, according to many people, or many people who don't know Kabbalah, they think they are the most negative 3 weeks. Why? Because historically, if you're looking into these 3 weeks, not usually the Gregorian date, but the lunar calendar, if you look historically, always the worst, quote unquote, the worst thing that happened in the world starts in this period of time. And historically, we know the 2 temples were destroyed in these 3 weeks in completely separate times. The Jerusalem walls fell in that time. We know that the golden calf happened in that time. The spies that happened in that time. In these 3 weeks, it's like almost a lot of destruction happened. So many people think that's a very negative 3 weeks. Negative. Many people think negative. Negative is what? Female. Negative, it's not bad. These 3 weeks are tremendously powerful. But we don't have the capacity. We don't have that vessel to handle them. So therefore, we need to protect ourselves. I'll suggest 3 things to protect yourself these 3 weeks. Okay, very simple actions. Okay, 1 is prevent yourself from big moves and big shifts. For example, getting married. For example, buying a new house or opening the business, all of that stuff. It's big. It needs a lot of energy. It needs a lot of protection in this time. Therefore, this energy time, it's like kind of like we spoke before. It's like, imagine a world without an ozone layer. Everything can be burned in a second, can be destroyed in a second, right? These 3 weeks are tremendously powerful. Therefore, because we don't have the vessel, we need to respect the energy force that is available. A person who don't respect a higher energy than themselves probably can get burned out from this. Second thing is, don't draw too much attention in these days. Take down the level of the conversation to a much calmer place. And the third part is awakening yourself to leadership. Awakening yourself, where can I take and be responsible, right? Take leadership. Why? This portion, we know, one of the Kabbalah speaks about that the Creator asked Moses, what's in your hand? Ma beyadecha, what is in your hand? And all of a sudden, Moses saw that he have a staff. That's back in the conversation between the Creator and Moses. The mateh, he hold on a staff. He saw I'm holding on a staff. Now, this is this week. Each one of us need to ask ourselves first, right? What are you holding in your hand? What are you holding in your hand? A staff, right? What is that staff? The idea is that you understand that you are the leader of your life. Nobody leads your life beside you. First of all, to understand I am the head. And if I want to change where my life goes, it changed first of all in the head. But ask yourself, what are you escorting? Who do you lead? Who do you who is looking at you as an example, right? Are you guiding somebody? Are you leading anybody? Are you leading your life? This is this week. These questions, when you ask them, not to be defeated by them, but to be increasing more responsibility and take more of the staff, hold more of the staff that you can lead yourself, lead others. From what? You see someone lead his life in a bad way, divert them to the good way. You see someone is leading his day in a sad way or depressed way, help them to be diverted, or divert them, help them to be happier. You see someone is in judgment, help them, divert them to the mercy. Okay, this is the mateh, this is the staff. You see someone doing something good, help them, divert them to an excellent, right? And so forth. So this is this week. I will wish you a beautiful time, because it's very, very powerful time. This is what we call these 3 weeks are enormous amount of light that is inserted in this week. So we have to appreciate and respect this time and treat it accordingly. Thank you, everybody. Please.
Thank you.
Thank you.